It's showtime, folks!
Impact Wrestling fans, I am back once again, here to break down some Impact Wrestling. A day late on this one, but I'm here with that goodness, with that hotness, with that freshness. You can find me on Twitter at OMGCoreyB and at 2SweetPod. That's 2SweetPod. And you come on as on here on YouTube, OMGCoreyB, and also on Periscope as well at 2SweetPod. So we're going to hop right on into this thing. I'm not wasting any more of your time. Feel free to hit that subscribe button, hit the notification button, be notified of every video that I make. So, first up, we had OVE versus Aerostar versus Vikingo and Laredo Kid. Like, as soon as I saw this match, I was like, okay, we got a fantastic opener getting ready to come out here. And I was ready for it to get started. Just what you would expect right out of this match, pretty much an X Division match built into a trios match. Just action left and right, and I enjoyed every bit of it. I get myself together here. Enjoyed every bit of it. I enjoyed the planches from the top, the multiple planches on OVE, and I thought it was just a fantastic match. Vikingo's shooting star press is just phenomenal. Just as good as Sydal's, if you ask me. It's a competition between those two as to who has the best. But I enjoyed every bit of this match. It was fast-paced. And like I said, the planches from Aerostar, Vikingo, and Laredo Kid, from the top to the outside, I enjoyed that. And the triple tombstones, that was like out of nowhere. It was like, whoa, okay, by OVE. OVE would go on to pick up the win. And look, it was a fantastic opener. The crowd was hot. The crowd wasn't all the way there throughout the whole night, and I'll tell you about that by what I mean as I go forward in this review. But the crowd was hot for this match. They loved every bit of it, and we were off. OVE needed a big win to pick up momentum as they head into Bound for Glory for their trios match. So after that, Matt Sydal met up with Rich Swann, and apparently they were supposed to have a singles match go down tonight. Matt Sydal got that twisted into a tag match. Swann initially didn't like it, but he went for it anyways. It was against the Lucha Brothers. He found it to be a good opportunity. So I was ready for that one. Look, that was going to be a phenomenal match. Tessa arrived backstage, pushed around the locker room, pushed around Chick Tormenta, told her that this was her space, pushed her around, and that brought out Faby, Apache. And she told Tessa that, look, she needs to show some respect around here. So we had that set up right then and there. After that, we had Eli Drake versus Trevor Lee. So what happened was it wasn't an interesting match. It only went like 3 minutes. Wasn't a whole lot to the match at all. Basically a match where Trevor Lee got in some offense, a little bit of offense, and Eli Drake picked up the victory. Not much in it at all. Look, at this point, I don't have a problem with the Eli Drake Open Challenge, but I'm ready for this Open Challenge to lead to someone coming out and for that to start a meaningful storyline going forward. So I'm hoping that happens. As for Trevor Lee, he could be so much more. I'm ready for them to either insert him back into the X Division or do something with the guy because he's ready to take off. So moving on, we had King and the OGs backstage. King was talking about how he wanted to get LAX to break the ceasefire. He's going to do everything for them to break the ceasefire. After that, we had a squash match with King versus Kronoz. Basically a 30-second squash match. King got in a spinning back fist and that picked up the victory. He called out LAX. He did everything in his power to get them to come out, break the ceasefire before the match at Bound for Glory, but they did not come out. After that, after the commercial break, we had Konnan and LAX back there. Santana and Ortiz are just losing their minds because they want to get at the OGs. They want to get at King. But Konnan is the OG. He's sitting back. He's telling them not to break the ceasefire. And I like this storyline right here. You got the young hungry guys, don't know any better, ready to fight. You got Conan, old OG, like, y'all wait a minute. Let's sit back and let's wait until Bound for Glory. So I like where they're going with this. I'm very much interested in this big match that's going to happen in Bound for Glory. I think it's just going to be ridiculously crazy. So next up, we have Faby Apache versus Alisha Edwards. I was talking about the crowd earlier, and like the crowd just was not into this match. I don't know what it was, but it really hurt the match. There wasn't anything outwardly bad about this match. It went about 4 minutes or so. It wasn't the greatest match, but what really hurt this match was the non-involvement of the crowd. So what already wasn't that great of a match was further hurt by the crowd not getting invested into it. It was decent enough, and I enjoyed it somewhat. Faby Patrick would go on and to pick up the victory, and afterwards she cut a promo setting up a match with Tessa for next week. That should be a phenomenal match. I'm looking forward to it. Tessa Blanchard, the walking mean streak, the Knockouts champion Tessa Blanchard in a match next week. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, that's going to be for the Knockouts title. We'll see about that next week. That should be a great match. So after that, Scarlett Bordeaux said that she had a huge announcement planned for next week. We'll see how this all turns out. I'm interested. We'll see how it all goes down. After that, we had Pentagon and Fenix versus Sydal and Swann. Look, when weeks ago I said that Pentagon and Fenix would get a hero's welcome coming back to Mexico, and they sure did. And it was great to see the crowd was very invested into this match. Looking at this match before it even began, I'm like, look, for A+ workers, we're going to get a phenomenal match. And that's just it. That is just what it is. It was a phenomenal match. Didn't go as long as I thought it would, but it was still a phenomenal match enough. I love the double stomp by Fenix to the outside on the apron, followed by the package pile driver to the apron by Pentagon. That maneuver is sick. But that is a sick move to do on the apron, hard part of the ring. And I enjoyed this match very much. A very fast match. Basically an X Division match parading as a tag team match. So it was just a phenomenal match. And the Lucha Brothers would go on to pick up the victory. I'm not sure what happened towards the end, but you can kind of see Fenix looking at the ref kind of like, did you count that 3? And it was just kind of weird kind of sequence that went there. But the match overall was phenomenal. And I enjoyed it very much a good story to tell because Pentagon and Fenix need some momentum heading into Bound for Glory. And Matt Sydal and Rich Swann need some friction going about them because we're headed to a singles match. Rich Swann has had it with Matt Sydal's third eye crap, so he's ready to face off against them. Post-match, OVE came down, but Brian Cage ran them off. That set us up even more towards our build to Bound for Glory with that trios match that's going to be phenomenal. Could be the match of the night. That is going to be phenomenal. So after that, we had the Desert Hit Squad. They were getting massages and talking about next week's match. And Gama Singh, of course, came in, tearing everything up. He had them go at each other. I mean, we had them fighting back and forth like they were fighting their opponents in weird segment there. But Gama Singh with the hard iron fist ruling against the Desert Hit Squad. I'm telling y'all, eventually, Desert Hit Squad gonna get tired of Gama Singh crap and turn on him and give him that Road Warrior Paul Ellering style beatdown. And that's going to get, I'm telling y'all, that's going to get Desert Hit Squad to the next level. We'll see about that one. We'll see about that one going forward. But after that, we had a Joe Hendry song with Grado, and it was well done. I liked it, I got to say. I will say this about Joe Hendry. I like where they have him at right now. I like what he's doing. I would like him to get into a significant feud. Quite honestly, I thought the significant feud was coming up with Grado, with Katarina turning with Joe Hendry, but they threw a curveball into that. So I'm interested to see where they go with Joe Hendry. I like for him to get into a meaningful feud. We'll see how it goes going forward. So after that, After the Joe Hendry video, we had the main event, and I gotta tell you that, look, this was the first main event in months that did not connect with me whatsoever. We had Austin Aries, we had Texano versus each other, and it was for the Impact World title, and the crowd wasn't into it whatsoever, and it's just like the tempo of the match was extremely slow, and we got into a point of the match to where you could clearly tell that Texano was just gassed. He had just had enough, and the tempo of the match suffered because of it. It was a very flat match, and I wasn't feeling it whatsoever. Towards the end of the match, we got some distractions, but it would end with the brainbuster. Austin Aries picks up the win. Not a real great main event. It just did not click for yours personally. As for the storyline overall, Austin Aries, he picked up the win and much needed momentum, or much needed sustained momentum heading into Bound for Glory as for his match versus Johnny Impact. So after that, we had a Johnny Impact video and said that he wasn't medically cleared, but he would come for Austin Aries sometime soon. Austin Aries told him that, look, I'm not falling for that when you're here, you're in the crowd somewhere. This one kind of came off as a little bit awkward because it took forever for Johnny Impact to come down. He eventually came down. Once he came down to ringside, that picked up very well. And he got all of those guys out of there. And it was a well done segment. Super kick, cross, super kick Moose to the floor. Aries escaped. And after that, we had Eddie Edwards came down. He got in on the party as well. And we're off on that build to Bound for Glory. We got Austin Aries versus Johnny Impact. We got Eddie Edwards versus Moose. I'm assuming that we're going to have Eddie Edwards versus Moose. That is not announced yet. We'll see going forward. But that's the next logical step. You have a guy come in and turn on you. Your supposed best friend turn on you. And that has to be the match coming up at Bound for Glory. That would be the end of the show. So let me know your thoughts on Impact Wrestling down below. Your thoughts on the Mexico tapings, the very first Mexico tapings. Let me know what your favorite match was, what your favorite moments were, and I'll respond to all of your comments. Let me know. I cannot wait for the tapings next week, and I cannot wait for Bound for Glory coming up in October. I'm out!